Just keep going, just keep going up, just keep going, just keep going up. You can't turn back, you come too far, you can't give up, you work too hard. Just keep going, just keep going up, just keep going, just keep going up. You can't turn back, you come too far, you can't give up, you work too hard. Just keep going.
Welcome back to Dissertation in 90 Days, the podcast where we support your journey through the many challenges of doctoral research. I'm Dr. J, your host and guide, and today we're diving into a topic that's both crucial and often complex: navigating ethical challenges in research. Ethics in research isn't just about following rules, it's about ensuring integrity, protecting your participants, and contributing responsibly to the body of knowledge in your field. In this episode, we'll explore the ethical dilemmas that researchers frequently encounter, how to address them, and what you can do to maintain the highest standards of ethical conduct throughout your doctoral journey. Whether you're just beginning your research or you're deep into your dissertation, these insights will help you navigate the ethical landscape with confidence and clarity. So let's get started on this important discussion. Let's start by discussing why ethics in research is so critical. At its core, research ethics is about ensuring that your work is conducted with integrity, respect, and fairness. Ethical research practices protect the rights and well-being of participants, ensure the accuracy of your findings, and uphold the reputation of the academic community. When you adhere to ethical guidelines, you contribute to the trustworthiness of research as a whole, which is fundamental to the advancement of knowledge. One of the first ethical considerations you'll encounter in your research is the process of obtaining informed consent from your participants. Informed consent means that participants are fully aware of the nature of the research, what their involvement entails, and any potential risks or benefits associated with their participation. This process is not just a formality, it's a cornerstone of ethical research. Participants should always have the autonomy to make an informed decision about their involvement without any coercion or undue influence. Informed consent involves more than just having participants sign a form. It requires clear and transparent communication about the purpose of the study, the procedures involved, the duration of the study, and how the data will be used. It's also important to discuss the confidentiality of their information and their right to withdraw from the study at any time without penalty. As a researcher, you must ensure that this information is presented in a way that is understandable to all participants, regardless of their background or education level. Another significant ethical issue is maintaining confidentiality and protecting the privacy of your participants. Confidentiality means that the information participants provide is kept private and is not shared with others without their permission. This is particularly important when dealing with sensitive or personal data. To maintain confidentiality, you might need to use strategies such as anonymizing data, using pseudonyms, or securely storing research records. Ensuring that your participants' identities are protected is not just an ethical obligation. It's also crucial for maintaining trust in the research relationship. Let's also talk about the importance of avoiding harm in research. The principle of do no harm is central to ethical research. This means that as a researcher, you should strive to minimize any potential risks or discomfort to your participants. This could involve physical harm, psychological stress, or even reputational damage. Before beginning your study, it's essential to conduct a thorough risk assessment to identify and address any potential harm. If risks are unavoidable, they should be clearly communicated to participants, and steps should be taken to mitigate them. Ethical research also involves ensuring the integrity and accuracy of your data. Fabrication, falsification, And plagiarism are serious breaches of research ethics that can have far-reaching consequences. Fabrication involves making up data or results, while falsification refers to manipulating research materials, equipment, or processes to produce misleading results. Plagiarism is the unauthorized use of another person's work without proper attribution. All of these practices undermine the validity of research and can damage the credibility of the researcher and the academic community as a whole. To avoid these ethical pitfalls, it's important to maintain rigorous standards in data collection, analysis, and reporting. Ensure that your data is collected systematically and that your analysis is conducted with transparency and honesty. When reporting your findings, be accurate and truthful. Even if the results are not what you expected, it's also crucial to give proper credit to the work of others by citing sources appropriately and avoiding any form of plagiarism. Now, let's turn our attention to the ethical issues that arise when working with vulnerable populations. Vulnerable populations may include children, the elderly, individuals with disabilities, or marginalized communities. These groups require special ethical considerations to ensure that they are not exploited or subjected to unnecessary harm. When conducting research with vulnerable populations, it's important to obtain additional ethical approvals, such as from an ethics review board or institutional review board, IRB. These bodies provide oversight to ensure that the research is conducted in a manner that is respectful and protective of the rights of these individuals. Research with vulnerable populations also requires heightened sensitivity and care. For instance, when working with children, it's important to obtain consent from both the child and their parent or guardian. The information provided should be age appropriate, and the child's assent should be obtained in addition to parental consent. Similarly, when working with individuals with cognitive impairments, it's important to ensure that they fully understand the nature of the research and that their participation is truly voluntary. Ethical research isn't just about protecting participants. It's also about contributing positively to society. This means considering the broader impact of your research on the community and the environment. For example, if your research involves environmental studies, you should consider the potential environmental consequences of your work and strive to minimize any negative impact. Similarly, if your research has social implications, such as affecting public policy or community well-being, it's important to consider these outcomes and ensure that your research is conducted in a way that is socially responsible. Another key aspect of research ethics is the ethical dissemination of your findings. Once your research is complete, it's important to share your findings with the academic community and the public in a responsible manner. This involves being transparent about your methods, acknowledging any limitations of your study, and avoiding overstatement of your results. When publishing your work, ensure that your findings are presented accurately and without bias. It's also important to consider the potential impact of your research on the community and to communicate your findings in a way that is accessible and understandable to a broader audience. In addition to academic publications, consider other avenues for disseminating your research, such as conferences, public talks, or media engagements. Engaging with the public and other stakeholders can help to ensure that your research has a positive impact and contributes to the public good. It's also an opportunity to receive feedback and to engage in meaningful dialogue with others about your work. Let's not forget the importance of mentoring and being mentored in the context of research ethics. As a doctoral student, you're likely working closely with advisors and mentors who can guide you through the ethical challenges you may encounter. It's important to seek their advice and to learn from their experiences. At the same time, as you progress in your career, you may have the opportunity to mentor others. In this role, it's important to model ethical behavior and to encourage your mentees to uphold the highest standards of integrity in their work. Ethical dilemmas in research are not always clear-cut, and sometimes you may find yourself facing a situation where the right course of action is not immediately obvious. In such cases, it's important to reflect on the core principles of research ethics: respect for persons, beneficence, and justice, and to seek guidance from mentors, colleagues, or ethics review boards. Ethical decision-making in research requires careful consideration of all the factors involved and a commitment to doing what is right, even when it's challenging. Lastly, let's talk about the role of ethics training in your development as a researcher. Many institutions require doctoral students to complete ethics training as part of their program. These courses are designed to provide you with the knowledge and tools you need to conduct your research ethically. However, ethics training should not be seen as a one-time requirement. Ethical research is an ongoing commitment, and it's important to continually educate yourself about the ethical standards and guidelines in your field. As you progress in your academic career, you'll likely encounter new ethical challenges that require you to adapt and grow. Staying informed about the latest developments in research ethics, attending workshops, and engaging in discussions with your peers can help you stay ahead of these challenges. Remember, ethical research is not just about avoiding wrongdoing. It's about striving for excellence in all aspects of your work. So, there you have it. Navigating ethical challenges in research is a fundamental part of your doctoral journey and your growth as a scholar. By understanding and adhering to ethical principles, you ensure that your research is not only valid and reliable, but also respectful of the participants and communities you work with. Ethics in research is about more than just compliance. It's about committing to the highest standards of integrity and contributing positively to your field and society. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Dissertation in 90 Days. I hope you found these insights helpful as you navigate the ethical landscape of your research. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a review. Share this podcast with your peers who might also benefit from these discussions. And as always, I encourage you to connect with our Grad Mentor Network for more resources and support. Remember, ethical research is the cornerstone of academic integrity and excellence. As you continue your doctoral journey, stay committed to these principles and strive to conduct your research with honesty, transparency, and respect. Until next time, keep pushing the boundaries of knowledge, but always with ethics at the forefront. I'm Dr. J, signing off. Goodbye.